We are one step closer to November's midterm elections after the last major primary night of the season. Former Florida Governor Charlie Crist won the Democratic nomination to take on current Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. And New York Congressman Jerry Nadler beat longtime ally Carolyn Maloney after redistricting pit these two incumbents against one another. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott joins me live now for more on this. Rachel, so great to have you here in studio, in person, finally. Let's talk about Florida, because Governor Ron DeSantis now knows who he's going to be competing against in November. But Charlie Crist is a former Republican governor himself, now the pick for the Democratic Party. But what does that do for that race?
And it was such the big question of the night. Who exactly is Ron DeSantis going to go up against in November? Now we know that it's going to be an ex-governor, which is interesting. As you said, he was a former Republican governor. Now he's running as a Democrat. You know, Florida is really interesting because it's so politically divided. And right now you have more registered Republicans than Democrats. Freed, who Crist actually defeated, is the only Democrat in statewide office right now. But make no mistake about it, this is a huge test case right now for Democrats because they know Ron DeSantis is a rising star. His name has been floated around in 2024. We have no idea what decision he's going to make yet. Obviously, he wants to win this race for governor first. But how Crist campaigns in this race is going to be key for how Democrats approach 2024 and beyond.
And we know he's already come out saying, if you're a DeSantis voter, I don't want your vote. Kind of an interesting strategy there, a bit risky. So we'll see how that pans out for him. Congresswoman Val Demings, meanwhile, she's set to face off against Senator Marco Rubio. How realistic is it that Democrats can flip that seat?
And Rubio is running for a third term here, but something that's interesting is that Demings is actually out fundraising him, which is kind of rare to see for such an incumbent at this stage. Demings has really tried to get out in front of some of these attacks, right? So she launched her campaign on this message of law and order. Obviously, she was the first black female police chief in Orlando, trying to get ahead of some of these attacks about defund the police, change the strategy that Republicans are obviously going to hammer her on when it comes to Democrats and the defund the police narrative. But she does face another challenge. Again, here, you're running against an incumbent, 3 terms, again, in a state that has leaned more favorably toward Republicans in the last few years. She definitely has her work cut out for her. But if she is elected, there is a void right now in the Senate. Since Kamala Harris became vice president, there is no black female sitting U.S. senator.
Okay, let's come back to New York now. Swing district holds this special election. Unlike the primaries, we're seeing Republican versus Democrat here. Democrat Pat Ryan ended up winning, and he had this consistent messaging that abortion was on the ballot. Now, his Republican, rival tried to say abortion is pretty settled in New York. Why are you saying that? And yet he won. How much do you think that speaks to how much abortion is going to be an issue for the midterms?
This is the news that Democrats wanted to hear this morning waking up, because just weeks after Roe versus Wade was overturned, seeing how abortion has played out in some of these primaries is absolutely critical, not only in this race, but we're just weeks ago in Kansas there, right? Where that question was put directly to voters in a conservative state, and voters sided with abortion rights. So Ryan was down on the polls. There was no poll that was actually showing him leading. Abortion was such a central part of his campaign. So the fact that he came out on top, Democrats now believe that they have some of these headwinds, and hoping that this becomes a driving issue for voters ahead of the midterm elections.
All right, we'll see. Rachel Scott, great to have you here in person.
It's great to be here.
Thanks,
nice
Rachel.
to see you, Diane. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.